Hi, Robert. How are you?
Hey, Constance Carter, what is going on this Friday?
Oh man, a bunch of stuff. I'm so excited to talk to you. I've been waiting all week to talk to you today, and
Have
so
you
I'm
really?
excited. Yeah, I have been waiting all
Wow.
week. Yes, 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 yes. So I'm excited to have you on today. So this week I have been talking. Well, the last 2 weeks I've been talking to different speakers that were going to be at the We Summit, and the We
Yeah.
Summit is still on, y'all. The We Summit is still on. We just want to kind of get you some information and some background on some of the speakers that are speaking at the We Summit. Robert Antoinin is actually going to be, he's one of the speakers. He's actually a facilitator and he was like all over the place. So had a lot, we'll talk about that too. But he is a dynamic, charismatic speaker. I saw him on stage and I was like, wow, who is this guy? And I wanted to see more about what he was about. And I've been knowing him. Well, we met a few years ago at a conference at Power Networking, George Frazier, the conference.
Absolutely.
Yep. And so since then, we've been fast friends, and I've seen him making his moves, and he is doing some amazing things in the world. So thank you for being on with us today, Robert. I
Well,
appreciate
thank
it.
you so much for such a wonderful introduction. So I would have told the story a little bit differently. Yes, we did meet 2 years ago, and the one thing that I can say about then and now is that you were so quiet. When I first met you, I always tease you about this story. And when I really got to find you and check your receipts, I found out that you were the bomb.com. Not only
Oh,
online, but in real life. You're a super friend. We've hooked up more than once, from a business perspective. And every time I've had you on my show, it's been an absolute pleasure to be around you. And you're kind of smart too,
a little bit. What
a little
people?
bit.
Yeah, I just be around smart people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and speaking of that, I have been on your show. Tell us a little bit about your show.
So I am the host of the Black CEO Morning Show. It is the number one show in the morning for entrepreneurs, brand experts, thought leaders, anybody who's looking to improve their brand and their presence online. So we try to bring you some of the brightest and the best people in industries, whether it's PR, marketing, leadership, sales, finance, wealth, anything that an entrepreneur would need to be successful. We try to put those people on the screen to make sure that they deliver a message. And more importantly, they give you tips and tricks on how to get in to your specific scope of influence. More than that, it's educational and it's entertainment. So we call it edutainment.
All
And
right.
I like to have fun. So it is an absolute blast. So I encourage anybody out there who's listening right now to check out the Black CEO Morning Show. And I have some dynamic hosts who are on there. Silky Smooth Elton Shaw is there. The Vision, Taria Avant. Also Candace Woodruff. But more importantly, I would be more than happy to have you back on again. I've been trying to catch up to you with your busy schedule. So I would love to have you
Yeah,
back on the show
I would
again.
love it. I would love it. Somebody
Yeah.
asked, is it on YouTube?
So that is the goal of where we'll end up. We're actually taping season 2 right now.
Okay, season
So
two.
we'll repurpose it on YouTube, yes, eventually. But right now, the best place to check us is on Facebook. And then we're going to do some stuff with Amazon. So we will put it out in a huge package. We're going to do an anthology book project in conjunction with that. We'll probably
Cool.
have a summit. And a lot of those plans got tabled with the current pandemic that we're facing. But that is definitely something that we have in the pipeline. We're really, really excited about it. So
Right on.
it is up next and best.
So let me ask you this: when can I be on the co-host with you? That's what I want to do. I don't want to just be on the show. I want to co-host with you.
You know what? Do you have an easy like Sunday morning side, or are you gonna come serious? Because if you coming serious, you can't come on the show.
I'm easy like Sunday morning all the time.
Okay, you got to bring the heat. You got to be funny. You got to show your smarts. Yeah,
No, hey, I'm the whole package. I'm the whole package, brother.
absolutely.
So okay, so thank you for that. BlackCEO.com, or how can they find you? Just you are you just on Facebook or?
Yeah, so I am the guy with the face that's made for radio. My name is Robert Antoinin. The last name is Antoinin. And if you're looking for the Black CEO Morning Show, you can just spell out the word Black Morning Show.
All
and
right.
you will inevitably find some of the things that we've done in the past. Really, really
Only for
cool
black people?
format and platform. What's
Only for
that?
black people? Only for black people?
No, 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 no.
Oh,
So, in the words of Dr. George Fraser, we try to be for a specific audience, but we appeal to everyone, and we
okay.
try to create opportunities for those who have not had those opportunities, who have not had the access. And so, the Black CEO Morning Show provides that vehicle and that platform to speak to those who would ordinarily not get exposed to some of the things that we show. So, it's for everybody, but we do curtail to a specific audience.
I think you just told me that you had somebody that was not black that was on the show just last week or a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah, we had Victor Antonio, who's really cool. He's from Puerto Rico,
Okay.
and you couldn't tell them anyway. I won't say it, but Victor is from Puerto Rico.
Got it. Got it. Got it. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So let's get down to it because I want to know a little bit more about you. I know you have the Black CEO Morning Show. I know you talk about leadership and leadership lessons, but I want to kind of talk about your journey. I want you to share, where we know who you are, we know you're a host, and we know you're all of these great things. But where did you start off, and how did you get to where you are today? What's your story, sir?
Whew, that's a loaded question,
Oh, it's,
Constance Carter. So
oh,
I started out in the 9 to 5 space. I've been a manager or supervisor or C-suite leader in some capacity since I was 19. So that's 20 plus years of being in some kind of leadership role. So I have an affection and affinity for those who are in leadership, whether you're leading a group of 2 or 3 or 2,000. The principles are usually the same, but that is kind of my journey and my story. I became an entrepreneur in 2016. And my story, really briefly, I'll tell you the short version of that, is that I was a part of a successful company, and I was really, really successful myself. 6 figures, company car, company credit card, the corner office with the window view, every perk that you could possibly have. And then on October the 19th, I'll never forget that, on October the 19th, one of my favorite people in the company, who happened to be like a regional VP, he sat down and we had a conversation. And at the end of that conversation, he said that we will no longer be in the Robert Antoinin business. Now, if you're tracking the date, October the 19th is before November. And the big holiday in November is Thanksgiving. And this particular year, I was going to be the host house for my family for Thanksgiving. And my mom has a really big family. So that was a big owie a month prior having something like that to happen. The day before October the 19th, which was October the 18th, I had just made the second tuition installment payment for my middle daughter, who was in Delaware State University. And I had promised my son that he could go to a really expensive football camp in December. So all of these are dollars and cents that are adding up that I had committed to. But in this moment on October the 19th, I was relieved of my duties. The backstory to that is for a year, I'm a man of faith, and I had been praying to God that He would allow me to use this gift that He had given me. And the gift that He gave me was a gift of education, compassion, and teaching. And I prayed to God a fervent prayer, morning, noon, day, and night. And for about a year, there was nothing. And I didn't hear from God. And I had a nerve, Constance, to actually get mad at God because I was doing all the things that I thought that He wanted me to do. And I said all the things that I thought He wanted me to say. And by the way, I had a really, really strong prayer life, but I didn't see Him move in my situation to get me in the place that I wanted to be. And on October the 19th, when my regional vice president gave me a ride home.
So this is after he told you he was no longer in the Robert Antoinin business.
He was no longer in the Robert Antoinin business. He gave me a ride home. He said, "Thanks for being such a professional. I'm really going to miss you. This is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do." I remember walking into my house and thinking to myself, wow, what am I going to do? I've got all of these things financially that I'm committed to doing. right? And I walked up the stairs. There's 3 flights of stairs before you get to my bedroom. And when I got on the second flight of stairs, I dropped down and cried. And I wasn't crying because I was sad. I was crying and I said, God, thank you for choosing me. Because in that moment, I had a divine download where he said, I answered the prayer that you asked me to do.
Oh,
I'm giving you the opportunity to use the gift that I, in fact, deposited in you. And the reason why you couldn't use the gift that I had given you to use is because you were all about that 9-to-5 job. You were always working 12, 14 hours. You were always giving everything to something that I did not purpose you to do. My son, I heard your prayer and I answered it. And how many of us know that God will answer your prayers? Maybe not in the way that you want him to, but he hears our prayers and he does work on delivering that prayer that you asked of him. So the moral of the story, I'll wrap it up by saying one thing and one thing only. When you pray, make your prayers specific, because God, if you give him a halfway prayer, he's going to give you a halfway blessing. So if you want a car, don't say, God, bless me with a car. Say, I want a red Lamborghini with black interior leather. Whatever it is that you want, you need to certainly make sure that you are specific with your prayer, because the saints know that we serve a big old God that's bigger than cancer, that's bigger than COVID-19. So how dare you come with a halfway prayer, because he's going to give you a halfway answer and blessing that you prayed for.
So do you think your prayer was a halfway prayer?
It was an incomplete prayer. I didn't know what it is that I wanted to do, but I'll tell you what, just to kind of finish my story, I was thrown into entrepreneurship, right? So I had to kind of figure out what that would look like. And so for the first, I would say 3 to 4 months, I lived off of credit cards. And how many of you know that ain't the way to go? But I had to do what I had to do because there was really no money coming in. And I had to find out what I was passionate about, what it is that I could do to use this gift that God had blessed me with. And right about month number 6, I was at a crossroads where I had to kind of figure out what it was that I was going to do. I had really tried, and nobody was letting me on their stage. Nobody was giving me an opportunity. I hadn't established a brand name, brand recognition anywhere, but I knew I had to pay the mortgage. I had to pay tuition. I had to pay all of the household bills. I got a call, and someone asked me to come and do a presentation for my former employer. And I had to tell this person that, I no longer work for them. And she said, well, just come on through. I just really need you to come through. And I did the presentation. Everybody really loved it. And we had a moment afterwards for us to talk about what it is you're doing now. And I said, I'm really not doing anything. And she said, well, what are you passionate about? I said, I'm passionate about leadership. And she said, well, right on. I think I can squeeze you in and give you, 30 minutes to talk to a group of leaders about your leadership that you're passionate about. And as the story goes, I told that first presentation, and I secured a gig. Once a week, I go in the government space, and I speak to C-suite leaders, managers, supervisors, directors, and I talk to them about something that I'm truly passionate about, and that's leadership. Yeah.
So you said, God, give me this gift. I really need this gift. Give me this gift. God, I got this gift.
Yeah.
Please bless the gift. Please give. And he gives you the gift, and it's wrapped in sandpaper and not the pretty bows that you thought it was going to come in.
Yeah.
What do you do with that? You're like, okay. And I love that you said, I thank God anyway. Because a lot of times when it doesn't come in the way that we think it should come, then we think that God is not. It's like that the story with the guy that was out to sea, and he was saying, God, please save me. And God sends him, all these things to save him. And he's like, no. He's going to do it in this way, because he's thinking that he was going to do it in a way that he thought it should be. And when he finally died and went to heaven and said, God, why? I asked you to save me. He said, I sent this, and I sent this, and I sent this. And so oftentimes, and I love that you said we need to be specific in our prayer, because that's how, if we want God to show up that way, then we need to ask him in those ways, because that's the type of God that we serve. Is that correct? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Amen. And so with that, it takes a lot for a person of faith, to even with a person of faith, to say, I'm going to take this blessing that many might not believe is a blessing, and I'm going to use it as a lesson, and I'm going to use it as leverage to propel me to my dream that I really want. Because that could have crushed a whole lot of people.
Absolutely. I think we talked about this once before. I mean, I had a decision point where, I almost came close to, telling the kids, like, dad is a failure. I believe in doing this. I want to do this, but it just isn't happening. And it's right at that moment where I was ready to pack it up and give up that God, had a breakthrough for me. So it was at a critical point in time. Things weren't good for me, but I just believed that I had to have faith. And I think I heard somebody say that the same things motivate fear and faith, right? It's belief. And you really get your belief tested when you go through obstacles. And I love how George Fraser always says that the obstacle is the way.
Yeah.
If you don't have an obstacle, there is no way. And if you have no way, there is no path to success. So for those of you who are looking to get to success, haven't quite gotten there, you need to know that you're facing and you need to overcome that obstacle in order to get to that place called success.
It's a necessary evil on that way. And you got, it's all in how you look at it, though.
Yeah.
Opportunity, it's a blessing for later. A lot of times, me and Glenda often joke, because we know, that God is going, that you're going to go through, like, it's just boot camp to get you stronger, to take you to the next level. You're gonna go through something, and you just gotta overcome it. Glenda and I often say, because a lot of people be like, Lord, just use me. No. I don't need no extra. I learn from somebody else's mistake, because I have enough obstacles of my own. I don't need to bring those into my life. Lord bless me. I just want the blessings. But there's a lot of comments really, really quick, and I want you guys to share this information, because somebody today needs to be blessed, because there are a lot of comments where people are being blessed more than you even know. So, Jahari, well, first of all, your boy Barrett shared this on your page. He said, man, I didn't even know you were going live. My man and my girl, Barrett. Jahari said, I needed to hear the story regarding working a job that may say we no longer need you anymore. Tisa said, speak to me. David Robertson said, wow. Glenda said, amen. Jahari said, need this more than a reading. Thanks, and be very specific. Carmia said, yes, he will remove you to improve you. Be specific. David Robertson also said, man, y'all doing some preaching up in here today. Jahari said, preach. Janelle. DeCarter said, good word. Same thing, motivates fear and faith. So you guys share this information. Again, don't keep this to yourself, because somebody else needs to hear this blessing that we're going to talk about today. And I love your story of resilience, because that's a blessing. A lot of times, again, we'll ask God to bless us. And every time we're trying to get to the next level, we have to have something that's going to make us stronger. Armin said, you have to go through it to it. You got to go through it to get to it. I was once told you can't be the boss if you haven't taken a loss. That's one of my favorite songs, Boss. Everybody's the boss until they want to pay. Everybody
bosses to the time to pay for the offices.
Yes.
That's right.
Embrace and separate the boys from the men. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So let me drop this on everybody that's out there. I mean, for people of faith, they obviously resonate with something like that. It's easy a story to catch on to, because we've all been in a place where something unexpected happens, something that you're not prepared for happens. You think that you're prepared for it until it happens. And one of the things that I can tell you is that leadership has that same capacity. Everybody want to be the bosses until it's time to pay for the office, right? And I talk to leaders who are having fits with the people that they are called to lead, the people that they were called to serve. And by the time they get to me, they're like, I don't know what to do. Like, I just need some help. I don't know what I need, an exorcism, Jesus, whatever it is you know to do. Please, brother, please do it. And it's really simple. And for anybody that you got any typers in the feed, Um, um, I will say this: the key to leadership is this. If you can do three things, there's many layers to being an effective leader, to being a great leader. And John Maxwell said it best that it's all about influence, but it's a little bit more than that. So I'm just giving you three things you can take away to improve your leadership. Whether you're the leader of a team, you're the leader of a CEO of an organization, wherever you are in your leadership journey, right? Do these three things and you will ensure that you will be on a path to success. Now, you're going to be amazed at how simple these things are, but you will be also amazed at how many people ain't doing this that got the title of leader, right? So the first thing you want to do, Constance, and I know you do this always, you want to give a clear vision of what success looks like. I'll say that one more time. Give a clear vision of what success looks like.
Hold on.
In other words, set the expectations.
Hold on. Type that in the comments box. Give a clear
vision of what success looks like.
Give a clear, somebody put that in the comments box.
Give a clear vision of what success looks like.
Success looks like. Okay. That's number
one.
And
you know what else, Constance? These also work in relationships. So if it's Friday, we can make this for leaders and for those who are in love. For leaders and love. So if you've ever been in a relationship, to ensure that you have a successful relationship, you need to make sure that you give a clear vision of what success looks like, AKA set those expectations in the beginning. That's for ladies and gentlemen. Set those expectations in the beginning. Am I right about it?
Oh, you are absolutely right.
Second thing I need you to do to be really effective at leadership or effective at your relationship, give your people, the people that you've been called to serve, the people that you lead, give them every tool to succeed. Give them every tool to succeed.
Give them every tool to succeed. Number
AKA,
two.
That's training.
Okay.
Right? A lot of us fall short because we just want people to figure it out. Mm-hmm. Well, everybody comes from different backgrounds, different orientations, beliefs. So they don't think the way you think. They don't know what you know. They have not been exposed to what you've been exposed to. So if you want to be successful on your leadership journey, you got to make sure that you give your people every tool to succeed. And that's especially true of entrepreneurs, because we're hustlers, we're movers, and we're shakers. And we think that the people that we bring on board to help us are successful movers and shakers and hustlers as well. Well, no, that may not be their plight in life. They may be just looking for a check, and they just need, this $20 an hour, whatever it is you're going to pay them. But even with those hourly people, you need to give them every tool to succeed. And then the last thing that you want to do is make sure that you, I'm good?
Yeah, I want to make sure it was in the comments.
I didn't catch your hand signal, so I wanted to make sure.
I'm sorry, I wanted to make sure it was in the comments box.
Okay. The last thing is that you measure performance, award excellence. Measure performance, award excellence. So if you're in a relationship, the easiest way to do that for the fellas is Hercules. If he is doing the thing and putting it down, you got to make sure that you reward excellence. If you're in a 9-to-5 workspace, or you're an entrepreneur looking to build your team, make sure that you make a regular habit of measuring the performance, but being intentional about awarding excellence. I'm not saying just give out a ribbon, you get a ribbon and you get a ribbon. I'm saying making sure that you truly reward excellence. Because those three things will help you to propel your company, your business, your brand, but they will set you apart from what other leaders are out there doing. Most people are hiding behind their.
All leaders aren't doing it? All leaders aren't doing this?
That is a negative.
How
because they aren't doing it, a gentleman like myself has gainful employment to be able to coach them and
job security.
consult with them.
Job security.
Yeah.
So then let me ask you this on the flip side, because we have a lot of entrepreneurs that are watching today. So what are some of the problems that entrepreneurs have in leadership?
Well, I would say probably one of the biggest things that entrepreneurs have is scaling to be bigger, right? So we're always looking for hacks and tricks and tips, and we're trying to do it on a bootleg budget. right? And I get that because there is a portion of every entrepreneur's journey where he or she has to do that. But in order to get to that level where you go from a regional person to a national and even a global brand, you've got to be able to scale by building your team. And in fact, I did a talk not long ago is in order to 10x your dream, you need to have a rock star team. In order to 10x your dream, whatever your big old dream is, you need to build a rock star team. So Jesus came on the scene and he found 12. And it was because of those 12 that he was able to have a global message that started in a little part of Jerusalem, but he had global impact because he was able to build a rock star team.
You know, that reminds me of the thing, and I think I've said this with every single person who's been on here. You have to have people around you to help propel you to the next level. I mean, it's just you could do it alone, but it's very, very, very hard. And I always refer back to the African proverb: if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, then you got to go together. You got to go with other people. So you do need a team. But in order to have a successful, effective team, then you have to be able to cultivate that as a leader. Because I think one of the things I read about you is you said they won't follow until you lead, but you have to know how to effectively lead in order for them to follow. So there are methods to the madness, right?
Right.
And so for that entrepreneur that is doing it on a shoestring budget, like, okay, so they're by themselves. Now they brought on one person and maybe they're bartering services, or maybe they're just, paying them very little or whatever. How do they keep those people, on loyal and believing in the dream with them, even though they may not have a whole lot to give? What do they do?
So I'll repeat it for anybody that wasn't listening. And it sounds really, really simple, but it's true. Make sure that you give them a vision of what success looks like. So as much as possible, you need to remind them what it is that we're here for. If it's an affirmation, if it's a tagline, whatever it is, you need to make sure that whatever the goal is, it needs to be front of mind for every single person that's on your team. This is what we're doing. And they need to be able to do three things, and three things only. That's to be able to help you generate revenue, service the customer, and then collect the money.
Okay.
Sell, service, collect. That's with any business. So nothing happens until a sale is being made. So you want to help people to be better selling or promoting your brand. So you give them every tool to be able to succeed. You start by making sure they understand what it is that they're doing it for, what success looks like. And then you want to work with them tirelessly, daily actually, to make sure that you give them training and the tools that they need to be successful. If you have an automated system, that's a tool that they can use. If you want them to just figure it out, that ain't going to work. And as they go along, you want to make sure that you measure their performance, but more importantly, award them when they do have great performance. Any small success that's out there, if it's a high five, if it's a bag of popcorn, whatever it is, you need to acknowledge the success that happens because you want to give them positive reinforcement so that they continue doing that which it is you need them to do to have the success that you want.
Harry said, "My leader does it." Feedback from your computer?
Not now.
Do you have two things on?
Me? No.
Okay. Jahari said, "My leader does it." Are you talking about me, Jahari? India said, "That's a good question." Donnell said, "They call it a soft skill, but it's actually hard to do." And is that what being a leader is being a leader a soft skill, or what is he referring to as what's a soft skill that's hard to do?
Well, soft skills have to do with your emotional quotient. So many leaders are not good people, good with people. For you to be successful, you need people. And the one thing that I found that C-suite leaders, especially in today's economy, is that they do not want to deal with the people, and therein lies the problem. So there needs to be a bit of understanding because as a leader, you got to be the mama, the daddy, you got to be the psychologist. Sometimes you got to let them sit on the couch. Right. I know we're here to do work, but they're bringing their personal problems to work with you, and unless you help them be successful at home, they won't be successful for you at work. So that means that you're going to have to take a part of your day. You got 10 minutes from 9:52 to 10:02 Just let it all out. Cry. Here's some Kleenex. Here's some Tylenol. Tell me all about it.
Yeah.
And if you can inevitably make them successful, they will be successful for you.
I can tell you what, I mean, I really believe that. And one of the things that I pride myself in as being a leader is having those personal relationships and having the openness for the people to come and talk to me. One of my folks was on social media the other day, and she may be on here, but she was on social media the other day, and I was like, and she just, she just didn't, she wasn't sitting right. So I said, come in the office, let's talk. And now we quarantined, and we kept our 6 feet distance, but I wanted to make sure that she was okay, mentally, that she was in the right space. And we just ended up hanging out in the office until midnight. So, but you have to be, as a leader, when you see people that, you feel like, they might need a little bit of help, or they may need just to, sit on your couch and talk things through, and being available. And that's the reason why personal development is so important to me in having these our breakthrough trainings, because it's not just about you sell, but it's also about where are you at, with your mindset, with your mental, with your soul, with your family, all those things that are important. At Catalyst, it's God is our everything. He's the center of everything we do. Our family is our why. Community is who we serve, and our business is our drive. That's how we make our money. And so when you know what your core values and your core beliefs are as a leader, then you can effectively lead the people the way that they need to be leading. But what I think people don't understand is they have to lead from a servant's heart. And so many people just want to pull, but they don't want to give. And so, what can you say? What can you say about that? Leading from a servant's heart,
Well, a
or being a
servant
servant
heart
leading.
means that you are in a perpetual state of giving, um, giving them advice, giving them support, giving them every tool that they need to succeed. When I gave the three things about what makes a successful leader, in every one of them, it said give, right? In order for you to get, you have to give. And if you want that person to perform for you, unfortunately, for every leader who doesn't want to do this, you've got to pour into something so that you can get something out. And that is that part that everybody needs to understand, recognize, and realize that if you want to measure your leader where he or she is in your business, in your brand or your scope of influence, what are they giving you, right? And I'm not talking about radio station WIIFM, what's in it for me. You need to truly think about what are they giving you, intangible and tangible things to help you to be successful, right?
Yeah,
And that's what it's all about. The best leaders make others around them successful.
and great, and
Yeah.
great. So you want to bring out the best, and you want them to be great. And if you, I just really believe that if you lead from a space where you just really want the best for other people, there's no way or no reason that they're not going to be successful. And you'll have some fallout, and everybody's not going to want to follow you, and that's okay. But the people who are there, they'll get the best out of you, and you'll get the best from them as a result.
Oh,
So
oh,
what about?
oh, 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 oh. So that's important. That's really important. Listen, even if you apply every principle that we talked about, there comes a time in your leadership life and in your relationship life. Sometimes it just ain't working out.
Yeah,
And you have to come to a place and a point where you cut that thing off and cut your losses, right? Probably one of the toughest things for most leaders to do is to cut ties with somebody who has tenure employment with you, right? Somebody that's been on your team, somebody who has the OG of the group. But if they're not able to do the things that you need them to do, even after coaching, even after giving training, and they just are not pulling in the same direction that you're pulling, you need to cut ties. And the faster you do that, the better your life will be. Because the one thing you don't want to have people in struggle, right?
mm-hmm.
If you struggle by yourself, that's one thing. But if you have people to help minimize your struggle and you still struggling, then you probably have the wrong people. And it is your job, your duty for your business, your brand, and for that person to make sure that you cut your losses. And sometimes, like Teddy Pendergrass said, it's just a love TKO. Now, I just told my age just about when I said, sometimes you got to let it go. Looks like another love TKO. So that's a big part of your leadership journey. There will be a season for every person, every success, every failure, but we need to be really, really in tune with the people who are not helping us to grow and to
Yeah.
move in the direction that we are trying to go.
That's really important. I was just thinking about a question that somebody inboxed me yesterday, and I said that would be a great question for the leadership guy. She said, "How do you not take things personal? Just being a leader. How are you able to just move without taking things personal?"
Well, I will be the first one to tell you that I'm light skinned and sensitive, so I take everything personally. So it is hard not to, especially if you're the type of leader who has done the giving part, right? When you give, not because you're in a reciprocal environment, you're looking to receive when you're giving. But with regard to taking things personal, what I've had to learn is that it's not always about you as the leader, because you're not with this person 24 hours a day. Again, like we talked about earlier, you got to give your people the 10 minutes on the couch so that they can unload and give you what's really going on. And sometimes leaders don't want to talk about that stuff. They just want to get the work done. That's not my problem. Yes, it is your problem, because if you don't address their problem, it will become
your problem. That's right. Yeah. You're right about that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a saying, when you were talking earlier, we're talking about having the right people on your team, and I heard the term, hire slow, fire fast. Get rid of the dead weight quickly, because you're absolutely right. And one of the things that I make sure that we do anytime I hear wind of anything that's not right, that there's some kind of bad energy, we're on it like that. So I'll bring them in the office, and nobody else knows what's going on. We'll go in the office, and either by the end of that session, we hugging it out, or we're going to thug it out. I mean, one way or another, we're going to hug it out, we're going to thug it out, but 100% of the time we're going to hug it out, because I got to make sure that from the top down, everything is smooth. And it's like a cancer. If it just grab onto a little piece, and it could spread like wildfire. And that's not what I want in my organization. So I just want to make sure that energy is really good. So if anybody on my team is on here, y'all got something going on that I don't know about, let me know, because we're going to nip it in the bud quickly. But I think that's also important as a leader as well, right?
Yeah. So I've done a talk to say that there are 20. So out of, let's say you got 10 people on your team, 20% of the people on your team really, really love you. They riders for you, and they're down.
How many? Right? Only 20%? What's the milk, baby?
20%. No matter what you think, as great a leader as you are,
I got some riders.
Your team are riders. They are ride or die. They got your back, right?
All right.
And watch this. There's 20% of your team, even though they smiling in your face all the time, they want to take your place. They are backstabbers.
How long they making me that money?
Your team are riders. The other 20%, those are your detractors. And they smile. You never know it. They're talking really bad about you, and they're secretly sabotaging your organization. Oh. And then there's 60% in the middle. 20, that's 40, 60 in the middle makes 100.
Okay.
So you as a leader, you need to make sure that you control the narrative within your organization, your group, or your team. Because he or she who controls the narrative controls the story. And if you control the story, you control the ending. And if you're able to impact and control the ending, you'll be able to hold the respect and the followership of those 60%. Because the 60% in the middle, they're going to go with whoever's yelling the loudest. So if the haters behind your back are really throwing shade on you, they're going to go in that direction. If your riders are making more sense and they're hollering for you, they're going to move in that direction. So a lot of times you need to. It's hard to identify who those people are, especially that 20%, because if you're in an office like you are, Constance, I mean, you've got I'm sure some rock star agents. I don't really know a lot about your team, but I promise you, boo-boo, if you've got 100 agents, 20 of them riding for you.
Yeah.
6 of them are kind of in the middle. They'll go with the flow, and then there are another 20. If you get hit by a bus tomorrow, they're going to probably do a happy dance.
95% of them ride for me. But anyway, I'll say this. I will say this. I mean, 95% ride for me. But let me just tell you this, and And I have so much confidence, not in them, but my confidence is in God, right? But what I do, and they all know this, is I come in here and I walk around this office and I pray for each and every one of them. And I go down the roster and I pray for each and every one of them. And I pray for growth, abundance, and overflow for each and one of them and for each one of their lives. So I only want the best. So whatever, it's just like, I'm like Wonder Woman. So they shoot me, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, boom, 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 boom. Right? Yeah, that all day. So, I mean, whatever it is, it's not going to stick because I got that protection around me that's going to guard me anyway. God is going to bless me anyway. Yeah, we're going to go through some things. Yeah, things happen. And as a leader, you just have to keep going with the flow. It's like when we moved into a building a couple of years ago, and a month later, after paying $90,000 basically to get into this building, 2 months later, we get kicked out. We're homeless. Everybody's like, Constance, all eyes on me. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And as a leader, even though I was like, I had to still maintain my composure and continue to lead and give them the confidence that they needed to keep walking, to keep going, to keep following. And there was not a fallout. In fact, when we were homeless, our team grew at that time that we were homeless because they were looking for that leadership. We had that leadership. But I think that's very important, but that's also the covering of prayer. You got to have some kind of spiritual covering, I believe, in your business. I mean, that's why
I'm a big proponent of prayer. In fact, I'm the Jesus guy in every group that I'm in. And I know that to be why I've had the level of success covering. And I hadn't always been easy, but I do have a very, very strong faith. So one of the things that I will also offer for anybody who's out there that's looking to build a team as an entrepreneur. So the onboarding and the recruiting process is essential. And, the people that you bring on board, you should probably vet them the same way you vet the people that you bring in your life before you bring them in your home. The same thing is true of that rock star team that you're looking to build. It's okay, if you bring a referral on board from a friend or a family member. It's okay if you get some help from an outside recruiter. But you also can use something like an assessment test, like a Myers-Briggs, a preview HR system. But one really cool one is the entrepreneur equation. That is an assessment test that entrepreneurs can use for the people that they're bringing into their business. It's a really cool assessment platform that can be used, the entrepreneur equation. Look, though, Constance, let me say this. It's Friday, right?
Okay.
And I talk about leadership all the time, and I'm so glad that you allow me to come into your space, in your world, with the chalkboard in the back. That looks awesome back there. Whole bunch of affirmations. It's looking like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Right on. I love it. But it's Friday, right?
Okay.
And obviously there's no happy hour around here that I know of, but actually,
what we doing?
Huh?
Go get the.
What happened?
No. Go ahead. You said it's happy hour. Okay. What we doing? It's happy hour?
I said, I don't know where that is. I want to like pop my collar, like let loose a little bit. I think I'm overdressed, as a matter of fact, for a Friday, to be honest with you. But
Clark Kent gonna turn into Superman or what?
Let me ask you a question. Can I ask you a question?
Wait. You said happy hour is what? What we doing?
Woo!
Did you say happy hour? What we doing? Huh? Happy hour right now?
Oh my goodness. Whoa.
Okay, go ahead. You gonna ask me a question? What are we doing?
So if that's what we're doing, okay. Well, listen.
Thank you.
First question, what would Jesus do?
Oh, we just got done talking about prayer and Jesus and everything.
No. So listen.
Look, this right here. Wait. I need to see. I hit a cup too.
What's up, big man? How you doing?
Yeah, man.
Wow, that's awesome. Let me get a little toast to that. You ready?
I'm ready. It's 5 o'clock where he's at.
So we talked about assessments, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the interview process. I cannot believe you got some cognac on. Woo! Nobody works harder than Constance Carter, but If I were to ask you a question, right?
All right. Okay, so we gonna flip this. Okay. All right.
Don't start sweating now. You ready?
Yeah.
Somebody need to post this in the feed. You ready for this question? Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. I'm putting you on this hot seat.
All right.
Jill
Oh.
Scott or Erykah Badu? Jill Scott or Erykah Badu?
Woo. Jill Scott or Erykah Badu?
No
Hmm.
judgment. I'm just asking.
Okay, so I will go with see if anybody put anything in the comments box. I'll go with Jill Scott. Okay. I love Erykah Badu. Erykah Badu was my first love. She's been out before Jill Scott, but I will go with Jill Scott. I think her body of work is a little bit better than Erykah Badu's last couple of albums. Yeah, been a little. Yeah. So I'll go with Jill Scott. I go with Jill Scott.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Jill Scott.
Well, I'm not going to.
D said Jill Scott. She said, "Good evening, Constance and Robert." India said Badu. Felicia said Jill Scott. So I don't know. I don't know what you guys think. Jill Scott or Erykah Badu? We got 2 Jill Scotts, 1 Badu.
So Constance,
Mm-hmm.
this is for you and everybody else who's listening, right? Since
Okay.
I didn't realize this is group participation. I just wanted to keep you on the hot seat. So you
Linda
ready?
said Jill Scott. Okay. India said, yeah, old Badu though. Old Badu. Yep. She said not new Badu. Yeah.
The old Badu.
Nicole said Badu. Nicole's Roberts. I love them both. Yes, ladies. And if you guys got your cognac, got your Hennessy, go ahead and take them. Donnell said Badu. So if you got your drink, it's Friday, and it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
All right. Well, since we've got some cognac, I can ask a real question now. On your first date, for pretend if you were to go on a first date, on your first date, and your song is on, is it more appropriate to two-step or to slow dance? First date.
Oh, first
is it
date,
more
two-step.
appropriate to two-step or to slow dance?
Two-step.
Huh? Really?
Yeah, I love two-stepping. Yes,
Two-step.
absolutely. Two-step all day. What about you? Two-step or slow dance?
I'm trying to slow dance on the first date. Yeah.
Of course.
Let's get it over. Let me see what's happening. That's what it is.
Two-step for sure.
What are they saying in the feed?
They haven't said anything. You guys, two-step, first date, two-step, or slow dance. I'll let you know when it comes up. They're a little bit delayed right now. So they're gonna hear this in like 2 seconds. We're gonna start seeing. Glenda said two-step. Glenda said two-step. I see. I agree. Don't nobody want to be bumping and grinding on the first date. I don't know you, brother. I'm not gonna do that. Andy said, yeah, you could even two-step with your girls, so keep it casual. Chanel said two-step. Felicia, see, we ain't trying to bump and grind on the first date. What we doing here? What we doing?
Is there a brother in the feed?
Nicole said two-step. What Donnell, what you say? Two-step or Carmia said two-step. No telling where slow dancing may lead. See, Tisa, she said two-step. Ain't nobody trying to slow dance. No, that's not okay. I say maybe slow dance on the 5th date. Maybe 90 days in.
5 whole dates?
90 days in. 90 days. Marilyn said two-step. Tisa said two-step. 90 days. You might get a slow dance. Can't do no slow dance prior to the 90 days.
So obviously all the two-steppers do not believe in love at first sight, and that's fine.
Donnell said neither. Donnell, then what? Deron Carter said slow dance. See, here we go. James Moore said slow dance. Nasty ninjas. What do you say, Charles? Oh shoot, Charles said two-step into the slow dance.
Oh, there you go. That's the right answer. That is the right answer. That is the right answer. Get a little food, have a little drink, have a little dance, or something.
Okay. Next question. Come on, 21 questions. Let's go.
Is it 21? Okay, so
we got 10 minutes.
I think I know the answer to this next question. On the very first encounter, is it more appropriate to do wine? Wow, you look like you're perspiring a little bit. Or should you have a drink? First date.
Oh, wine. Red wine. India said whatever the vibe leads to. First date, wine, or like hardcore liquor like this on the
Well,
first
since
date?
you've already pulled out the brown, yeah.
I would say wine. On the first date, I'm not a drinker. I'm really not. This just happened to be in the fridge on ice. So, but I would do a nice red, a nice Merlot or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. So
Carmia said love at first sight is a little scary, Robert.
okay. Well, I'm gonna leave that alone. So I'm ready for Friday night. Just got paid.
Wait a minute. He already said earlier. He said, "Hey, I had some of that Hennessy that was in the refrigerator." I said, "Dude, it's 11 o'clock."
Wow.
That's he really want to get it for real.
So here's a good one.
Hold on. So Tisa said wine, and it said both. Turnt. Carmia said wine. I can't hang after 2 shots. Chanel said both. James said no drink at all. He's keeping it sober, all the way sober. Love it.
So check this out. What is the first thing that attracts you the first time you see that person? What's the first thing you see?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I've been married for 20 something years, so that would have to be. Felicia said water. Marquita said red wine. So I don't know. That the first thing that attracts you to somebody, I have
The
no
opposite
idea.
sex.
Huh? The opposite. What's the first thing that attracts you to the opposite sex when you see?
Girl, when I saw him, the first thing that I noticed was.
All right, guys. Carmia said, "Get it, Constance Carter. I see you. LOL. It's Friday." Felicia said, "Water." Felicia, don't pray for me, Felicia. Donnell said, eyes. That's the first thing.
Eyes, good one. I love that one.
Felicia said shoes.
Shoes, okay.
Kat said smile. James said clean shoes, hopefully. Marquita said can't be looks, challenged and can dress. Can't be looks, challenged and can dress. I think if I were single, I would probably look at like the whole swag, like the whole aura of the person, the energy. When they walk in a room, does room light up when they walk? I would look at that. Linda said eyes. Carmia said his appearance and how he conducts himself. Yeah, how you move. Yeah, like the whole vibe and the whole energy, I would say. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So here's a really tough one. I gave y'all a whole bunch of softball questions. You ready?
Uh-huh.
You sure you're ready?
Yep.
All right, that Cavassier or Hennessy should be kicking in right about now.
I'm not gonna drink no more. Where's my water?
Okay. So this can be answered with a yes or a no to answer it. You ready?
Uh-huh.
Are you or are you not a print watcher?
Glenda! Charles said bang bang. I'm not. What? Glenda, come here. Come here, Glenda. Come here. Right now. Who? Did he say Prince? No.
Prince, P-R-I-N-T.
She walked back out. She was coming over there. She turned around and did a U-turn. Oh my God. Okay, so Jesus, I don't know where this leadership thing turns into. Let's go to the comments. If she's walking towards me, the eyes. If she's walking away, come on now. I like big butts and I cannot lie. India is crying. Carmia said no, she's not a print watcher. James said he's not a print watcher. James said he's not.
Oh, okay, James.
India said Facebook is finna flag this. This guy. Wow. Okay. Tisa said LOL.
That's a yes.
I'm black and I think I have successfully turned red.
Oh my goodness. All right. Right on. We good?
No, I'm not. No, absolutely not. Of course not. No.
Well, listen, let us steer this back to a leadership conversation.
We got 4 minutes. You got 4 minutes, brother.
I got negatively influenced by the libations in the air. So it's already 5 o'clock where you are.
It's not 5 o'clock. You got 4 minutes. So any more questions? Nicole said, what was the question?
Nicole. It can only be a yes or no answer. So the question is, are you or are you not a print watcher? PRINT. Think about it now. Oh my goodness. That is amazing. I don't think I've ever seen you do that, Constance Carter.
Do what?
Huh?
Do what?
I never seen you right foot up, right foot left. Oh wow.
So Tisha said Hennessy and that question don't mix. Donnell said lead her ship. Damon said Nicole Nichols Robertson. You don't need to know that. That question is, that was her husband. Marquise said no. Nicole Robert said, ooh, no. Okay.
Yeah. So let us bring it back a little bit because I don't want anyone to get in trouble. That was not my intention. Actually, so that was one of those questions that you asked during the interview. The same ones that you ask before you bring someone onto your rock star team that you're building. The same thing works in your relationship. These are questions that you need to know before you begin your relationship of life and leadership.
Beautiful. So any last questions for you, since you've successfully turned this interview into a Ask Constance? Any more questions for you, Mr. Antoinin?
Oh, do I have another question to ask? Sure, I've got lots.
Yeah, we got a couple more minutes. Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, cool. Right on. So, hard or easy?
Oh, easy.
Easy?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, listen. So, if you had to choose, would you say it would be easier to find you having a drink called sex on the beach, or actually having on the beach?
Really?
Yeah, I feel like this is really.
I'll have the drink. Okay,
You have the drink?
Right, yeah, I'll have the drink. So this guy, what's your name again? Robert Antoinin. Robert and Chanel said both. Chanel happens to be Glenda's daughter, by the way. That is dying.
Listen, Constance, let me say this. You know what? I'm going to be ashamed when I watch this tape. Let me just say this. I cannot wait until the We Summit happens because you have brought together some of the brightest minds in entrepreneurship and different fields. And one of the reasons why I was so drawn and so flattered that you gave me the opportunity to be a part of this big ordeal is that it is absolutely going to do the 3 principles that I talked about, making sure that we give a clear a vision about what success looks like. And all of those speakers are going to give tools on how to do what we're talking about, creating a legacy, right? If we've ever been in the bathroom, you'll see Brian was here, Constance was here, right? You want to leave a mark, leave a legacy. So I think that the We Summit will absolutely do that. And then you're going to have an opportunity to evaluate what happens, You're going to award some people as a result of some of the things that they've already done with their body of work. So I am certainly looking to be a part of all of that. And I'm just honored that you have me on your broadcast today. I didn't see it going this way, but for all the two-steppers out there, and
you were great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I had a good time.
You had to put your Robert Antoinin little mark on it. That was cool. It was great. You put me in a hot seat, but yeah, that was awesome.
Oh, it's hot over there. It's burning up.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing about the We Summit is we're definitely going to have it. And some of my board members, they were like, hey, why don't we just do it online? But what you have to really understand is there's nothing like being in the room.
Yeah.
There's nothing like being in the room. And the whole purpose of having you all on here was I wanted them to get a little background and see the people who are going to be there, how dynamic of speakers they are, who they are in the world. But there's nothing like being in the room. When I often go to conferences or go to workshops or go to trainings, what I learn is everything, but who I connect with is life-changing. And so you absolutely have to be there. There's going to be people like you. There are going to be people on the next level. And people often struggle because we always say, you need to get around people who are smarter than you, who are doing more than you. And they're like, well, I don't know anybody who's smarter than me. I don't know anybody who's doing more than me. Well, you got to get into those places where you have those people. And the We Summit is surely going to be that. And the great thing that I love is Robert has been such an instrumental tool, or he's been so
don't use that word. Not a good use.
Blame it on it. No, you've been so instrumental with the We Summit because actually, to be honest, Robert Antoinin is the one who brought up the whole Shark Tank concept. And he brought it to the board. We all loved it. And there were a lot of different elements. You guys have no idea. We're still doing a lot with the We Summit. It's not just a conference. It is an experience. And Robert has certainly helped with that element and that. So we're looking forward. That's why it's like something that we cannot not have. It's not something that we cannot not do because we created such an experience for the people to come and just have that they need to actually be able to partake in it. So the We Summit is going to be awesome. Right now, we have it scheduled for 6/6. It doesn't look like maybe that's going to be a possibility, but it will be before the summer's over. That's for sure. And all of the everybody who said that they were going to be there are still in on whatever day. That's Robert Antoinin. That's Dr. George Frazier. That's Boyce Watkins. That's Ray J. That's all the people that have been on here so far. They are all set and they're all excited to see you guys in the Silicon Valley whenever we have the We Summit. So thank you. And the other thing I wanted to say is I know that you have a leadership boot camp for entrepreneurs and business leaders. And so how can they get in contact with you? Because what I understand is it's a 7-day boot camp that you're doing.
7-day boot camp. And here's what I'll do. I'll offer a low rate of $197. It's going to be a leadership boot camp, and you're going to get some of the principles that we talked about today. Many of you are familiar with it because there are several thought leaders out there who are offering conferences. And here's what I've heard, Constance. They've gone to these workshops, they've gone to these trainings, and they try to implement all of those great things that they thought they learned in those camps, but they don't work on the people that they've been called to lead. So there takes a special type of leadership style to lead the people, the everyday people that you will be managing and that you will be leading. And the boot camp helps you to do that. You can reach out to robertantoinin.com. That's ROBERT, last name Antoinin, A-N like Nancy, T like Tom, O-I-N-I-N. I promise you it'll be the only Robert Antoinin you'll find online. But if you go to robertantoinin.com, just put your information in there. We'll have one of the people from our team to reach out to you. We'll do a 3-minute call. I'll assess where you are, tell you a little bit more about the boot camp, but it's going to be life-changing. And more importantly, it's going to help you to transform your current way of thinking to allow you to be in a position of impact in your business. And
can I sign up?
You absolutely can.
Let me tell you something. No matter where you are, you're never in a place where you've arrived. And so anything that I could get that's going to up-level my leadership, I want to be a part of it. So as an entrepreneur, say I don't have anybody on my team and I just want to kind of build my business or grow my business, is this good for me too?
Sure. So the beauty of what I do, it is for the C-suite leader and it is for the entrepreneur, for the halfway entrepreneur who wants to be there, for managers, supervisors, directors, and everything in between. And it has enough appeal. And the reason why is because I've held all of those positions. I've been in a C-suite leadership position. I've been an assistant manager in a retail. And I've been everything in between. And one of the things that I can say for a lot of the names that most of us know They have great concepts, great ideas, but the implementation piece is where most people fall off. So it's a workshop where we actually implement a lot of those things. For those of you who don't like the role play, yes, we role play this thing out, but it's the only way that you can get to that successful point of leadership, that you actually get to practice some of the things that will help you to be successful in your leadership journey.
You'll see me there. I'll be in there too. And
Awesome.
lastly, James Moore said, what about coaching?
Coaching. So coaching is something that I don't do. I'm more of a consultant, and let me tell you why. Consulting from the standpoint that you can reach out to me at your point of need. Coaching is an everyday, it can get stale. It's a mundane thing that has not been the most effective model for me, but I'm certainly open for consultation. It's actually what I do throughout the week. And I give you your best value from a consultation piece. Now, I have come for a week to a specific outfit or organization from top to bottom, find out about who it is, who the players are, what it is that you're looking to accomplish, and we can do an entire makeover so that maybe we put some systems in place, change over whatever your model has been to, one, reach the people that you need to reach, two, get the people that you need to have, and three, to get those folks to move your vision to where you want it to be.
I don't think it all boils down to increasing your bottom line, right?
Yeah. Sales, service, collect. Are these people helping you to generate revenue, and are they helping to increase your bottom line? That's what we're all in business to do.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. James Moore said nice. So, Robert, thanks once again. I appreciate you coming on. That was super fun. It was super out of my element. Hope a lot of people have gained lots of value. Marquita said thanks for the knowledge and the entertainment. Everyone absolutely loved you, just like I do. So thank you for coming on, and thank you for
bringing me, Constance.
Yeah, you are awesome. You're great. Thank you. Appreciate it. Peace out.